The Major League Baseball community is in mourning. Former All-Star and National League pennant-winning manager Jim Fregosi passed away after suffering a stroke while on a Major League Baseball alumni cruise. He was 71. I'm Tony Collins with your ESPN headline. We are joined by ESPN senior baseball writer Jason Stark. Jason, how will Fregosi be remembered by his peers?
Well, Tony, Jim Fregosi had a remarkable life, and he had a remarkable career in baseball. And I've heard from so many of his friends already today. They're hurting. There are a lot of people in baseball mourning this one because Jim Fregosi truly was one of those larger-than-life human beings. He filled up every room he entered with his wit and his wisdom and his personality and his physical stature. He was an extremely intelligent man who had an incredible passion for life and for baseball. And let's just say he had a few opinions that he was willing to share, and he loved a good argument, Tony. Jim Fregosi loved to debate the intricacies of baseball. What his friends remember, I think, is, as one of them said to me this week, in his life of arguing with Jim Fregosi, he just wanted to tie one argument.
Jason, you had the opportunity to cover the Phillies when Fregosi took the team to the pennant. Now, what was that experience like?
You know, you have to remember that he came in to manage a team that had endured years of losing and negativity. And, you know, it's interesting because as strong a personality as Jim Fregosi was, even back then, he recognized that you needed to empower the players to win. And I really think that was the secret of the '93 Phillies. If you looked at that team on paper, you wouldn't have said, well, this team's going to the World Series. But, you know, he saw things that other people didn't see in those players. He saw greatness and leadership in his catcher, Darren Daulton. He saw a special guy in Curt Schilling, a pitcher that, you know, he had his battles with, but he was the first person who I think ever looked at Curt Schilling and said, this guy is an ace. And he was able to blend personalities and unique playing styles into one group. You know, nowadays it's really fashionable to look at a position and say, we don't need one everyday player for this position. We can piece together two guys here and two guys there, and together they can make for one really good player. That's what Jim Fregosi did with that team. He did it all over his outfield, and it worked. And the other secret was that when I said he empowered his players, he let his players police themselves with their own unique blend of old school toughness and trash talking and just sheer love of being around each other. Nobody got away with anything on that team. And that's because the manager let the players build their own culture and their own chemistry. And that team had one of the unique blends of personalities of any team that I was ever around. And for one magical year, it worked. And the manager had a lot to do with that.
ESPN senior baseball writer Jason Stark with the insight. Once again, Jim Fregosi, a former All-Star who won more than 1,000 games as a manager for 4 teams, passed away at the age of 71. I'm Tony Collins with your ESPN headline.